Well, Keenan, it comes as no surprise that counting students during a pandemic, that can be kind of complicated. So in order to account for that, the state is giving districts 30 days to count the students who are flip-flopping between learning virtually and learning in the classroom, and maybe those students who are in quarantine right now. So that's the reason for this. You mentioned we're here in Dearborn. I'm right outside Dearborn High School right now. The superintendent of this district says they are anticipating counting some 21,000 students. It's kind of a big day for public schools in Michigan. Student attendance today and on a second count day in February will translate into how much money districts receive from the state.
So really all that funding goes to pay the cost of transportation, paraprofessionals, your office staff, administrators, really the whole gamut of expenses that you have.
Not to mention operational expenses like building upgrades. State rules say each district will get a minimum of $8,700 per student.
If someone misses that day, then it doesn't mean that you don't get the funding because they weren't there for one day. What it does mean, it's a lot more paperwork.
Superintendent for Dearborn Public Schools, Dr. Glenn Maleko, is talking about the 30-day window districts have to account for absent kids today. It's welcome flexibility, given that last year's more relaxed count day rules due to COVID are no more. At that time, during the height of the pandemic, the state used a weighted formula that mixed 75% of the previous year's count with 25% of the 2020 pupil tally. For the first year, Dearborn Public Schools virtual students have their very own school within the district, which allocated some extra startup dollars for it this year. Count day for online students functions in the same way, Dr. Maleko says. Money comes to the district, which disperses it to each school.
It really goes to the same for an elementary school, for example, because you need a certain number of teachers. So the budget for that is probably going to be similar.
Now, virtual students will be counted during a virtual video, and those students learning remotely at their own pace, which means they don't have live instruction, they will be counted if the district can show 2 interactions between them and an instructor during that count period. And again, this count day represents 90% of that state funding compared to the second one in February, which is only 10%. So today and the 30 days that follow, really critical for districts, public school districts around the state. Reporting live this morning in Dearborn, Jen Shantz, 7 Action News.